Colleagues, good morning. Yes, with us today is Honorable Minister Margaret Muhanga, the State Minister for Primary Health Care. Is accompanied by officials from Uganda Art Institute, led by Dr. Omangino John. Still with us, we have Dr. Nicholas Kamara, Member of Parliament representing Kabale Municipality. Is also representing the Chairman, Parliamentary Committee on Health. So members of the media and the public watching us here, today we are commemorating the World Heart Day. And basically we are discussing things concerning the heart, but definitely we shall also link it into COVID-19. So at this moment, let me welcome Dr. Omangino to come and also give us the opening remarks of this address. You're most welcome, sir.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, Honorable Minister, Honorable, we are calling him Honorable Minister of Health, the representative of the Honorable Minister of Health, that is the Honorable Minister of Primary Health Care. We have today Parliament represented by Dr. Kamara. We have just been having two talks, but you already know each other very well. On this side, the institute, we're supposed to have the board chair, but he's still caught up, find us along the way. I have Dr. Aliku, who is a consultant pediatric cardiologist and the chairperson of this year's function. Then we have the mother of the function of the institution, Lydia Wandira Namuri, the senior administrator for the Uganda Heart Institute. Now, to give us special pleasure on this day to join the rest of the world to commemorate the World Heart Day. This is a day put aside by WHO to draw the attention of the human race to this big problem of heart disease, which is it is increasing in magnitude. Previously, it used to be a problem of the Western world and developed world, but as we talk, the bigger problem is with the developing world. They are changing their lifestyles to adapt the Western lifestyle without taking the precautionary and preventive aspects. So while the other side, they are managing to control their problem, for us, we are walking into it without adequate preventive measures. Now, there are a few things we need to share as a nation. Why do we bother about heart disease? The burden is big internationally, that is worldwide. It is the leading cause of death or premature death amongst young adults. Up to a point of 17.3 million deaths per year are recorded due to heart disease. And this number is increasing. And the increase is mostly in the developing world, including Africa. You come back home, that is in Africa, already we are recording far above 500,000 deaths per year, and this is on the increase. You come down to Uganda and you say, well, maybe the problem is not, it is not in Uganda. My dear fellow Ugandans, Uganda is already besieged by non-communicable diseases. Heart disease as an indicator, already 1 in every 4 adults has hypertension. Just count, you are all adults here. 1, 2, 3, 4. One young, amongst you, one person has a problem already. Now, that magnitude means 25%, which is a quarter of the adult population, both in the rural and the urban setting, is already a candidate for heart disease. A quarter, that population, that magnitude did not even reach, let me say HIV at its peak did not reach that magnitude. So if we are to correct it, the type of mobilization that we need as a nation should even be bigger than the mobilization we had for HIV. When we look at children, just as an indicator, world over 1% of babies born have a heart defect. In Uganda, with a population of 42 million, and our annual population growth rate of 3.2, it is via birth. And that translates to 1.6 million babies born in our country per year. Now, of those 1.6, 16,000 are born with a heart defect. 16,000. That is the whole university. So, but half of those ones must undergo an intervention before they lead a life either acceptable or a total correction. So, per year, we have a need to operate on 8,000 babies. That is not a mean task. That is a very big issue that we have to deal with. So when we are scheming and presenting our facilities, those ones have no choice. They are born with a problem. We must catch them. So we must diagnose them. We must refer them, and we must have them helped by way of intervention. So this is a very big problem already. That is why, as a country, there is also this issue of rheumatic heart disease which we must talk about. Due to our poor overcrowding, both in the housing, in schools, and in all places, babies or young children get repeated sore throat, which ends up forming antibodies that injure various parts of the body, especially so the heart, and it ends up damaging the heart, such that the valves which usually work and tap and close and open the heart to allow blood to cut off, and they are damaged. Now blood continues just passing without any control, and those children must undergo heart valve replacement, which is very expensive, and they have to be on anticoagulation for the rest of their life. That one is not acceptable. We should be able to do something about it. So the causes I've given, the causes, if you asked where does heart disease come from? One part, they are born with as congenital abnormalities. The other part is lifestyle changes. We adopt Western type of feeding, which is characterized by high calorific input through the mouth and low exercise. The body, let us all know as individuals, and that we only take in food by the mouth. That food is meant to help us do normal exercises and the rest of the things and be alive. Excess of it is burnt via exercise. So if you do not do exercise, you either reduce the input or you are doomed to have overweight and heart disease. You can't have both. You just have to make a decision. So lifestyles that give you or ensure that you have everything to eat. You eat breakfast, you eat break tea, you eat lunch, you eat evening tea, you take evening tea with accompaniment, you take supper. and then just walk to bed without exercise. The excess, the body will burn, will store, translate it into cholesterol, which it will keep in all parts of the body, including the blood vessels and even in the heart. And that is what causes resistance, and the heart has to compensate by either increasing pressure or it bursts. Now, these other things like smoking, like drinking, like unfair use of drugs, all those ones are other causes. But the bigger problem is via failure to balance input with exercise. The body is an economist, it balances every day. So, having said that, the issue is how are we addressing this? We have seen the magnitude, the problem is with us, and it is big. It is very expensive to treat heart disease. The only answer is through prevention. So we address this through prevention. We can prevent up to 85% of this condition. We can prevent by giving information. We can prevent by teaching people what to eat. We can prevent by ensuring that everybody has exercise. We can prevent by ensuring that people avoid these drugs, this tobacco, this alcohol, this unnecessary use of marijuana, and all these, they call it, is it the leaf, and all these ones must be prevented. Now, with just knowledge, the last review, we found out that 80% of even the people who have hypertension don't know that they have a problem. So there is a knowledge gap, and that is what we must all address. There is a knowledge gap. Many of our people are going down without knowing that they are walking a dangerous route. The other ones are issues. We have all these issues of addressing those ones who have already got disease, like these children, like these born with a defect, the people who already have hypertension and heart disease, the people who already have failing hearts and the rest of the things. There we have working, the institute is leading that effort, and it is the national agency, but it is working with the Ministry of Health to guide policies, to get policies, and to measure prevention. But the other side is of the management through our health system infrastructure, right from the house, health centers, 2, 3, 4, general hospitals, referral hospitals, then the national hospitals, and the centers of excellence. All we are saying is you can be diagnosed with your hypertension at the health center, even 2 or 3. And once picked, you can be guided. And if there is need to escalate the problem, there is a referral system. And the government is working to strengthen this referral system. Now, the Heart Institute at the top has been given our establishment and given a mandate by an act of parliament to handle this. Now, together with the government, the plan is to promote awareness through all these campaigns such that health is made at home, health is made in the institutions, hospital, these schools. Children should lead a normal life, live a healthy life. Let them play. Let them play. Gone should be the days when a school where our children spend most of the time should be just, a normal school should have more space for physical exercise than the academics. So registering a school on a flat where they have no space for exercise is detrimental and should be condemned by government, and that such an institution should not be registered. So you already see we have to work with a lot of other institutions, the local governments, the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Agriculture and the rest of the things to ensure that there is normal good food. And good food is what? The issue is, it is not what you buy fried in the markets and in the shops and the rest. No, place yourself in a rural garden or a rural home. You will have all your food, your vegetables, your food, your water, your vegetables. So a normal diet should have those 4 components: adequate water, adequate solid food you are talking about, adequate vegetables, grass, whether it is jovio, nakati, what, anything, but it should be what? Grass, fruits. God has been so kind to convince you that fruits are good. He even puts them in different colors, covers them. You see a mango nicely covered yellow. You see a guava in this color. You see an apple in a different color. All of them are covered. Those are the healthy things to eat, such that when you are dividing your food, have a third of your plate, the food you want. A third should be vegetables. A third should be fruits. Then you take water. Not soda, not beer, not alcohol, not it is plain water. Now, having said that, we can now go to other things of reinforcing early diagnosis. When things fail at home, then you go to early diagnosis. So we are telling people, routinely check yourselves at least once a year. Once what? A year. Make sure that we have centers of excellence. Should things fail, then people are referred to those higher centers, and we are setting up regional centers. So the overall strategy is to position Uganda as a medical tourist destination or hub for heart care, training and research. And the government has come out to do that. We have training programs for the people to work. We have potential areas of people of collaboration, teaching, training, research, and all these ones, and various centers of excellence in the world and the other groups have come together with us to ensure that we are getting these ones on our way. We are training students, we are doing all this. Now, the promotive and preventive is what I've talked about. Let us make health at home. We promote normal living, not even preventing. Preventing is the second stage. Let us allow your child to grow normally. Can get the education she can get, and not working as a crisis. No. So we are promoting normal and healthy living. We now can after that, we can now look at prevention, which is multi-sectoral and collaborating, and we have told you that. So the way forward is on the side of the government and all of us is to formulate policies that actually promote physical exercise. Physical exercise. Then later, after we have done all those are the schools, the institutions, the health centers, the community centers, working with that one is one side. 2 is construction of, we are coming now, when we are planning cities, the roads and the rest of the things, it should be built that there is space for people to walk, people to cycle, people to exercise as a normal government policy. Now, the nutrition we have already talked about. The alcohol and the tobacco, we have already policies in place. So, having said that, the usual question is, we call on everybody to take action, and that action is at individual level. That is why we are talking about heart, and now it is the heart. Use your heart to connect to yourself, to your neighbors, your family, to your communities. This is a preventable issue. This is something we can control. Now, there is the issue of COVID. You ask it. COVID has come, COVID we are living with. COVID has occasioned on us a lot of its anger, but the issue is, the problem is eventually via the heart. The problem is via the what? The heart. Many people who have already challenged the heart issues did poorly. The issues of lungs and the way the people are talking, patients, people who get COVID when they already have heart problem, their response has been particularly poor. Now, we should do everything and observe those SOPs such that we don't add insult to what? To injury. Now, this year, the Heart Institute has had to use the multimedia platforms to reach the people. We have designed a lot of TV programs, a lot of Twitter programs, a lot of print media and the rest of the things to be able to reach everybody. And that this whole month, that September and October, all of it we have running programs which we call the population to access. This is something which should be handled. Listen to these programs. You can visit our website, you can go on Twitter, you can go on all these ones. Please let us all have it. And also make it a point to examine yourself. That is, once in a while, walk into a clinic, they take your pressure, they take your height, calculate a few things. If there is need, they can go further and further. And so we build this in ourselves. Now, having said this, I thought I would quash this in 7 minutes. I don't know how I've done, but we have so much to say, with so much to say. The heart is the engine, the heart is everything, but let us let the program run. So with this, I would really take the singular honor to, now that we have been joined by the board chairman. Our board chairman is Dr. James Magara. He comes from the dental medicine side, but it eventually ends up with the heart. Is here to represent the governance side, and I would like him just to say some remarks. Our chairman, our guest of honor, likes a few words. I have already committed a crime by saying much, but it was necessary. Thank you.
Our guest of honor for this occasion, the Honorable Minister for Health, State Minister for Primary Health Care, Honorable Margaret Muhanga, and Honorable Nicholas Kamara, MP Kabale Municipality, and representing the Chairman, Parliamentary Committee on Health, members of the press, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, and should I say the country, because this is being watched all across the country on this very special day. I have a few remarks to make as we mark this day. On behalf of the Board of Directors, Uganda Heart Institute, I take this opportunity to congratulate you and the rest of the world in commemorating this year's World Health Day. The Executive Director has already made a lot of comments about the heart, the engine in many ways of our body. And it's pertinent that at least once a year we stop to commemorate and think about our hearts, because that heart has been beating from the time you were born, and it does not stop day or night. Just think about that, and it will only stop when you leave this world. I wish to remind all Ugandans that cardiovascular disease, which includes heart disease and stroke, is responsible for 17.3 million premature deaths. And this is expected to rise by 2030 to 23 million, not the word premature deaths. Currently in Uganda,
1 in every 4 adults has high blood pressure. And that means if we were to take a quick blood pressure check here, 25% of you would have high blood pressure, about there. I do hope you've done your checks. But the unfortunate thing is that 80% of the people who are having high blood pressure do not even know they have it. It's been called the silent killer. Amidst this COVID-19 pandemic, people living with cardiovascular disease, over 500 million, are globally at risk, at a higher risk of developing severe forms of COVID-19 virus. These need joint efforts from friends and family to help them attend to their routine and emergency appointments. Uganda Heart Institute has therefore set out to harness the power of digital health to improve awareness, prevention, and management of cardiovascular disease in Uganda, in addition to the other things that we are doing. The Uganda Heart Institute Board of Directors, together with the management of the Institute, are committed to the provision of technical support needed in the management and prevention of heart disease in Uganda, particularly, and the globe at large. As the Board of Directors, we appreciate the efforts the management has done to gradually embrace digital health, as evidenced by the virtual heart health education programs currently running, educating the public about heart disease, and their prevention as a strategy to ensure healthy lives. I'm urging everyone here and everyone listening across the country to ensure that you listen to and learn from the continuing heart education series that are running across different local media platforms, and take it upon yourselves to live heart-healthy lives and change your behavior for a better quality of life now and in the future. We are living at a comparatively more affluent time than in more recent past years, and that always comes with problems. More eating, less movement, wrong eating, and it eventually catches up with us. So this is a time to pause and think about what we are doing. The unfortunate thing about this, it happens very slowly. It doesn't hit you once. It's slowly over the years. And the best way to sort it out is change habits and change them so that you live a healthy lifestyle. As we commemorate the World Heart Day today, let's remember that that population, which is over 500 million people globally living with cardiovascular disease, who the pandemic has rendered vulnerable and at risk, and ensure that they take all the precautions, SOPs, and the precautions that are being promoted by government, keep healthy, and also use technology to overcome isolation and gaps in health care. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the management and staff of the Heart Institute, together with the media team, that have made this Heart Awareness Month a worthwhile campaign. And I do hope that we will seriously pause. It will not just be another program, but we'll seriously pause and think about our hearts, because they drive us. As I say, they don't stop. From before you are born up to the time you die, this muscle does not rest. And if you treat it well, it will treat you well. If you mismanage it, it will mismanage you as well. With those few words, it's my singular honor to invite the Honorable Nicholas Kamara, who is representing the Chairman, Parliamentary Committee on Health, to make a remarks, and then thereafter invite our chief guest. Honorable, you're welcome.
The State Minister of Health, Primary Health Care, Honorable Margaret Mahanga, the Uganda Heart Institute Board Chairman, Dr. Magara, the Uganda Heart Institute Executive Director, Dr. Omagino, and your staff, the media, well-wishers, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for inviting us as the Parliamentary Health Committee on Health. My name is Dr. Nicholas Kamara. I represent the people of Kabale Municipality. I am a practicing doctor and with a very special interest in non-communicable diseases, having worked in diabetes and respiratory diseases. a politician, and I've come to represent my chairman, Honorable Dr. Shari Sayume, who is the chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on Health. I want to thank you for inviting us to commemorate this World Heart Day, which has a theme, Use Heart to Connect, with the goal of harnessing the power of digital health to improve awareness, prevention, and management of cardiovascular diseases globally. It is said, and it has been noted in many by my predecessors who came here before me, that by 2030, the non-communicable diseases will be a problem in developing countries. I want to say that actually we have reached there before 2030. Yesterday I was reading a study which has been done very well in Mayuge over 6 years. There is a Mayuge Uganda demographic health surveillance group which is doing some good work. They followed the deaths of people who have died above 30, who are aged above 30 and they have died in that community. And they found out that the death due to cardiovascular diseases accounts for 53% of the deaths. And the death due to communicable diseases, we talk about HIV, AIDS, malaria, and others. Actually, these people are just 31%. The other percentage is killed by injuries. It's also a good percentage, like 7%. These are also non-communicable diseases. Then the other 70% dies because of maternal child health problems. And this is also non-communicable. So we are already there. It's not that we are waiting for a magical 2030, and then we say now we have reached, we have a problem. The problem with non-communicable diseases, I've been talking with my colleague, Dr. Majino. They are diseases called neglected tropical diseases. Having worked in this area for long, I don't know whether we should not call non-communicable diseases also neglected diseases. Yes. So when you want to achieve, the biggest goal of a healthcare system is universal health coverage. And in this universal health coverage, you have things like leaving no one behind, financial health protection, such that somebody does not undergo, you prevent a catastrophic event. A catastrophic event is when you go to hospital and you sell all your property, and by the time you leave hospital, either dead or alive, your property is gone and you are poor. When I think about universal health coverage, I cannot know how we can leave these NCDs behind, accounting for 53% of the death. When we go to our health units, the first drugs to go out of stock are the drugs for diabetes, hypertension, where I understand the government, because for malaria it is a one-off. You suffer from malaria, I give you the treatment and you go home. But for diabetes, you have to take in drugs month in, month out, every month. So I understand. So these are very expensive drugs. It is a very expensive venture. And therefore, we need financing. We need a lot of money. We need more money in this area of non-communicable diseases, such that our people can be treated. Now, finally, I want to talk about prevention, then I can finish. Ladies and gentlemen, I worked in this area for some time. I have noted something called, well, what we are doing now is as if we are walking slow, as the chairman has said, towards our death. One day, I packed a cob, a maize cob for my child. And he brought it back in the evening. When I asked him why he had brought it back, he said everyone is packing cakes and juice. And these are non-refined juice. When I was growing up, all the primary schools that were in my district had a playground. In the last 20 years, I do not know how many primary schools have opened with a playground. When I was growing up, still, parties used to be simple affairs. For us in our village, I'm happy the people who are Mukunda watching me in Kabale. In our village, we used to just kill one cow and have maybe some few matoke, and that is a party. But now what do you find at a party? You find carbohydrates. You find the chapati. You find the matoke, yams, Irish potatoes. Then you find all the carbohydrates. Then from the carbohydrates, you start off. So you start offals now. Offals, you put chicken meat, you put goat meat, then you put beef. Then after all meats have been dark meat, then you find a small area of greens. They have a very small plate where they put for you fruits. Very small. I don't know where they get those plates from, but for me, I've never known where they buy them. They are very small. They put for you 2 pieces of fruits. Then for vegetables, you find also like a small plate somewhere for vegetables. Now what do these carbohydrates do? These carbohydrates, when you see some of us damaged, these are the things that have caused trouble. Carbohydrates, meats which are on these buffets, alcohol, and of course, as you are here on your cameras and as we are here seated, we are not doing any work. We have taken breakfast, but we have not even used any energy to take up this breakfast. Therefore, as a person who worked in non-communicable diseases for some time, and as a doctor practicing on the Parliamentary Committee for Health, representing my chairman, I want to say that you are preaching to the converted. We shall help you as much as possible to make relevant policies, to make sure that even in our schools, we start when people are still young, to make sure that even in urban planning, we have roads that encourage cycling and walking, to make sure that we make policies such that financing, either for health promotion or for treatment of these patients, is adequate. We also want to make sure that we appropriate enough funds for non-communicable diseases, and I hope the minister will also agree with me that this is a very big catastrophe which has already happened. It's not in waiting anymore. I want to thank you once again and end up by quoting this man called Mehmet Moran, who said that a good heart is a beautiful home where we can find peace. At this moment, I want to take this opportunity to invite the Honorable State Minister of Health for Primary Health Care, Honorable Margaret Muhanga, to come and give your remarks. I thank you so much.
Dr. Magara and Dr. Omongin from the Uganda Heart Institute, Dr. Nicholas Kamara from the Parliament of Uganda, my comrades in the press fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the commemoration of the World Heart Day 2021 as we witness the great steps in the fight against heart disease in the country. The year's theme is that use your heart to connect, because I think without your heart you can't connect. They've given you all the statistics about the people with heart diseases, 500 million in the world, and the doctors have told you that when you have a heart problem and you get COVID, you are even worse off. This theme is about using knowledge, compassion, influence to make you are a part of have the best chance to live heart healthy lives. They've told you about exercising, stop smoking, drinking alcohol. You may drink maybe a little because they say wine is good for the heart, but avoid drinking a lot of alcohol, which will break down your heart. A lot of carbohydrates will give you cholesterol, high cholesterol with meats, and then you'll have a problem with your heart. I applaud the board and management and staff of the Uganda Heart Institute for an initiative of achieving one of the best health care we have in this country, the Heart Institute. This Heart Institute, they have done numerous successful heart treatments, including open heart surgeries. And now they are routinely carried out. This is a clear testimony that the Institute is becoming a center of excellence in this region. This will reverse the trend of referrals abroad and instead position Uganda as a medical destination within this Great Lakes region, as reflected in the NDP 3, National Development Plan 3. I wish, on behalf of government, to reiterate that the NRM government places special emphasis on prevention and early detection in the fight against heart diseases. And I urge all other development partners to join hands with the Heart Institute to step up efforts in that direction, besides enhancing quality care for heart patients. As government, we are pleased with the work at the Uganda Heart Institute, especially given the COVID-19 times when cardiovascular disease patients are faced with double-edged threat. The doctors have already told you about that. At the moment you get COVID and you have heart problems, you are at a higher risk of getting too sick and also dying. So this also requires your behavior change. It's like COVID. COVID is a behavior change disease. I can see some of you, your masks are down here, yet you have them. Others are not wearing them at all, which is a very big risk and may give you COVID. It should be noted that the World Heart Day is a federation initiative celebrated annually with a crucial role to play in improving the world's heart health, reducing the global economic burden of cardiovascular diseases, and achieving the UN target of a third reduction in non-communicable diseases that Dr. Kamara has told you about. Many of the diseases are avoidable. I also hear doctors about diseases of lifestyle. Some of them I think include diabetes and pressure. Those are diseases you can avoid by eating healthy food and exercising, just two things. eating healthy food, and exercising. I wish to point out that as a country, we are also rapidly increasing our knowledge about the causes, prevention, and treatment of heart disease in Uganda. While most historical researches on diseases in Uganda have focused on HIV, malaria, TB, and other infections, new research is now focusing on cardiovascular diseases, including rheumatic heart disease, coronary artery disease, and hypertension, as evidenced by the prolific publications and awards by the Institute. I therefore call upon all of you to join these doctors that have educated you today to do the needful to avoid the heart diseases. The government of Uganda is sourcing funds to the tune of $75 million, which is needed for the Uganda Heart Institute as a standalone cardiac facility, both locally and through international partnerships and collaborations. On behalf of the government of Uganda and on my own behalf, I wish to extend my sincere gratitude and appreciation to the following bodies. The founding body of the Institute, namely the Ministry of Health, Makerere University, Mulago National Specialized Hospital, and the Uganda Heart Foundation, without whom the Institute may not have been established. The NRM government, for the overwhelming support in the extended and continues to extend to the Institute, the extended support and what they continue to extend to this Institute as a standalone entity. Microlabs, Philips, and MCure Pharmaceuticals that have consistently worked closely with the Heart Institute in driving this cause of a healthy heart, which entails awareness and prevention of cardiovascular diseases. The other key stakeholders and development partners for their continued support. Many partners have come in to support the Heart Institute. The entire management and staff of Uganda Heart Institute, who work tirelessly to save lives, we are eternally grateful to all of you for changing the working environment and healing souls in Uganda. The general public and community in the Uganda Heart Institute, I also thank you. And I thank you, members of the press, for coming. I say this for God and my country. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana, merci beaucoup. Uganda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Before we go into Uganda version or questions and answers, we have with us Lydia Jasmine, Aimbe Nyimba Z'Omutima, a gentleman from Mbokoro, Salvador, and then Sylvia Namtevi. So I'll give them 1 minute each to come and say something about heart-related issues, and then we come into the Uganda version. Lydia Jasmine, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Our seniors, our doctors, our leaders, the press, and everybody, invited guests, I salute you all. My name is Lydia Jasmine. I'm a female artist in this industry, and I'm very well known for singing very beautiful love songs. And I'm so happy to be a part of this day for the very first time. Before I go any further, this year, as we know the theme, I'll give an example before I talk about anything else. We artists, since I'm representing my fellow artists out there, we have tendencies of what I've heard from my seniors here. They've been talking about the eating habits. I think we have the poorest. We artists don't actually mind about what we eat, the time we eat, and I've seen and I've learned that it's very important for my seniors. Of late, a few months ago, I joined, they call it dieting, because I was getting out of proportion myself. I said, now you know what, I need to know what I eat, what time I eat. Every morning I have a glass of juice and some fruits. They were teaching us about the fruits. These are things we artists don't actually do at all, that we don't think about. They eat chips and chicken every day, anytime, Sometimes somebody actually you work from morning, like I woke up at 6, I've been out here, and then you get to realize that by 6 p.m. you haven't eaten anything, and then you go back and eat whatever you find at any time, which is really wrong. So I'm calling upon my fellow artists out there and the whole entire country and the world, because this is a World Heart Day, to please take care of your health by really minding what you eat and how you eat. I also had my father have a heart problem a few months ago. I'd never seen my father. My father is 59 years old and really strong. But for the first time, I saw him in a wheelchair because one morning he just woke up and he couldn't walk, and they told us there was a very small vein that transports blood to the brain, something like that, to the heart. It had been blocked or something like that. And I saw my dad dying. Thank God we got very beautiful doctors, very good doctors in Mulago Hospital. Thank you. Mulago Hospital is actually still under treatment, but he's back on his feet and working. So I am so proud to be a part of this day. This year, thank you very much. This year we are using the theme, use heart to connect. Yeah, like the beautiful lady said, we are here to, through this campaign, we share knowledge, compassion, influence, to make sure our loved ones are part and have the best chance to live heart-healthy lives. Today, I pledge, like I said, I'm already actually working through my pledge because I'm watching what I eat now. I'm on diet. Everybody out there, please do the same. Mind about your health, because your heart is your life. Without it, you can't function. And also, artists banang hit gym. Let's do more exercises. Let's live healthy, because all of these things I'm saying, I'm doing. So please take note and really mind about your health, because we only live once. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
At this moment, let me welcome the man from Wembokoro, but I would request him to at least use 1 minute for gender and then for ICT.
Good morning. Morning. My name is Patrick Idrigi. Most of you know me as Salvador. I'm a comedian, and right now I'm a radio presenter on Sanyo FM. I'm very glad to be part of the Uganda Heart Institute World Heart Day with the theme, Use Heart to Connect. I'm not going to say much, because from my side you can clearly tell that I am not taking care of myself. So I am just here to make a pledge so that I can use the little knowledge, the compassion, and the influence I have to help you and the communities that we all live in to live a better heart lives. So my pledge today is to make sure, first of all, thank God I don't smoke, I don't do shisha, but people do shisha for me, because I hang around people who do that. My pledge is to stop, to control alcohol. Control alcohol, and eventually stop, because if you've noticed, I no longer represent any alcoholic brand, because I don't want to influence so many people into it. My pledge is to live a better life, to eat healthy. I think I started that a few weeks ago. It's very hard, very painful, but I started, and hopefully I will get there. And thank God the World Heart Day came in time for me actually to refocus my mind on trying to keep this amazing organ very, very healthy, because with a good heart, you'll have a good life, a happy life, and a safer life. Thank you, Lydia Jasmine, for that testimony of your dad. Thank God I've not yet experienced anyone in my family, but you never know, anything could happen. So to you, the members of the press, let us spread this message as much as possible. I'll talk to my fellow comedians to see that we live healthy, because we have very terrible eating habits, like Jasmine has said. So with this, I pledge to eat better, to work out more, and to eventually stop alcohol. I say all this for God and my country. Thank you.
Thank you, Salvador. Yes, at this moment, I welcome former Miss Uganda, Sylvia Namtevi. And
Uganda 2021-22, I will be representing Uganda at Mrs. World. That will be in January 2022 in Las Vegas. There are 520 million people globally living with CVD that have been disproportionately affected by COVID-19 in the last year due to the increased vulnerability to more severe forms of COVID-19. The population has been told they are vulnerable and at a higher risk than any other person. There are many causes of such, and amongst them is missing medical appointments. I'm coming on board for this campaign as an influencer that is going to engage with the community of Uganda to step onto the digital marketing campaign that the Uganda Heart Institute and the government of Uganda that is creating, to make sure that people pay attention to their heart health, and to also make sure that the community is engaged in living a healthy lifestyle. Myself, I'm skinny, and people always see me working out and they say, "You're very skinny, why are you working out?" So there is a lack of knowledge in the community that working out is not only for weight loss purposes, but it's also for your heart health. That's why we have things called cardio. Cardio is an exercise that is targeted to your heart health. So most people, when they see that you're skinny, Ugandans, they're like, "Why are you even working out? You're already small." But I have to keep my heart healthy. So as an influencer on this campaign, it's going to be my duty to engage the community of Uganda, to engage the society in what a good lifestyle is. When you're skinny, it does not mean you're healthy. You may be sick, so you need to work out your heart. When you're fat and you're working out, or curvy, you're working out, you may be more healthier than a skinny person. So it's our duty as influencers to engage the community, to engage the society, to hop onto this digital campaign and increase our heart safety and our heart health. I pledge as Sylvia Namtevi to connect using my heart to the people of Uganda, and to also ensure that people understand what heart health is and give more attention to this problem. Thank you, media, and thank you, honorables, for God and my country.
Thank you so much, Sylvia Namtevi. At this moment, I welcome Honorable Minister to come and receive your questions, and later we shall have a Uganda version.
My name is John Nam. I am with the International Press Institute. I also contribute to Daily Monitor. I would like to ask the Minister and also the panel the following questions. One, we understand that the final report on the death of Rheumatic Charikunda, who was covered in the press, is ready, and it is with the Ministry of Health. What does it say, and when will it be released? And what is, this is the second, what is your view about alternative treatment to COVID, like Covidex and Covilis? What's your view about these medications? Three.
Thank you so much. But I will also request that maybe we concentrate on the heart issues, because we're going to mix out of things. For the death of someone you mentioned, you talk to the Honorable Minister after here. Okay, thank you.
Morning, my name is Walter Mwesije from NTV. I'm interested in understanding if the minister is aware that the Heart Institute is running a machine that conducts major surgeries and is out of date. It basically has run its lifespan. What plan is there to have another machine? But also, we also know that the company that was contracted to construct or renovate the ICU facility for the Heart Institute never fulfilled its contractual obligation. And right now, the Heart Institute cannot conduct at least more than 2 operations at one time because of that reason. These are some of the challenges that the Heart Institute is facing, including funding. What else are we going to hear from the Ministry of Health regarding sorting out some of these issues, but also extending the services to regional centers? Thank you.
Ismail Subaga, I work for Bukede TV. My question will go to the Director, Heart Institute. Would like to hear some of the challenges you face addressing heart problems in Uganda. Thank you so much.
My name is Zahara Namali. I'm a journalist with NBS Television. With 8,000 children in need of immediate heart interventions, and the Heart Institute for now, known to have the best equipment, the best human resource, what explains the patient backlog and the several visits we get as media houses of people with letters from the Heart Institute seeking for treatment abroad, and how can you help us address this? Because in a day, a media house can have like 5 to 10 visits of people in need of money to travel to various parts of the country for care.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, feel free to invite Dr. Mangino or the chairman to respond to the questions in case they are technical. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll only answer one question, which was asked by Charlie Kunda. By some guy whose name I've forgotten. About Charlie Kunda, that the report was sent to the family. It totally has nothing to do with the COVID jab. Legally, we cannot give it out to the press. So you can contact the family and read the report. It was a very well-written report and well-researched. She didn't die of anything related to a COVID jab.
Okay. Yes, the media, you'd want to expand the debate. Now, there are important questions which have been raised. One is to do with the cath lab, which has already done the 10 years. Much as it is well maintained, we already have informed the government, and it is part of our next funding, in the next financial year. It is one of the priorities. We had tried to seek a supplementary, but the COVID challenge may stress everybody. So now, the next financial budgeting, it is one of our big priorities. The issue of ROCO, its failure to accomplish the construction of our ICU. Yes, when Mulago was being renovated, they had the thought, no, we gave in a 12-bedded ICU, and it was taken up, crashed down, and it was supposed to be rebuilt. Now, halfway the journey, they realized that the budget could not accommodate our very high specifications for a cath lab, for an intensive care unit. Now, we had to contract ROCO separately. And as I talk, we gave ROCO a short time because we already had a donation of equipment by the Hungarian government. So the Ugandan side was supposed to complete the construction, and the Hungarian government does the equipping. And as we talk, ROCO failed to do that bit, and it is now a matter of courts. And the Attorney General took over, so we are in the courts of law. Meantime, we have now, in fact, the letter is on the minister's desk. The Hungarian government has come through. They have already pieced up what they are supposed to do for equipping to the tune of $4.3 million. The gap of uncompleted work this side is $600,000. So now the discussions are to get us that money, and we complete the construction of the ICU by December, such that January, hopefully, equipping can start, and February, we complete off and hand over. But the most important thing to note is this. The ICU is so critical to the functions of the institute or the heart surgery, in the sense that all patients who are worked on, either in the theater or in the intensive, or the critical, or the cath lab and the rest of the things, must go through the ICU for 24 to 48 hours at minimum to be able to deliver it to the general ward. So it is a rate determining factor. Right now, what we hoped would have sorted out by now, we had already lined up children, we had already lined up, we have not been able to achieve it. And that explains part of the backlog that we have, and we are working with the government to sort out that, such that we can start doing more than 3 operations per day. Now, the issue of regional centers, once you get this service put to this level, it must be equitably distributed to the rest of the country. And that is why in the Act, they empowered the Uganda Heart Institute to set up regional centers. And as we talk, the regional centers are to be in 13 regional hospitals, or near the 13 regional hospitals. That is starting from Kabale, Mbarara, Masaka, Hoima, Fort Portal, Lira, Gulu, Arua, Soroti, Moroto, Mbale, Jinja, and yes, and Mubende is coming on. But the original ones are those 13. Now the thing to note is this. The country has moved, and now the goal is to link up these 13 regional hospitals where they are situated. Incidentally, those places have universities. So Kabale has a government university, Arua has a university, Masaka has a university, Soroti has what? A university. All of them have university status, and now government is setting them up as cities, such that their mandate is increasing. And for us, we are to link up the care delivery system and the academia for training and research, such that we do evidence-based medical care. That one is being worked on. Many of these centers have already we visit all of them. We are already improving their rate of diagnosis and follow-up. Many of the patients who are operated or handled here do not have to come back every month, every 2 months to Mulago. No, we handle them now at those regional centers. But alongside this, we are also encouraging the private sector, the NGO facilities, to venture into super specialized services. And already there are a few cath labs which are already coming up. as a nation, the WHO recommendation is that every 1 million population should have one cath lab. Uganda has 42 million people. We need 42 cath labs. Where we stand, we already have one, which we are to replace. Yes, stopping. No. Okay. We already have one. With the new hospital that the minister is talking about, are coming an extra 2, that will make 3. Then around Kampala, we expect them to be 5, and then we start going on to the regional places. So we expect Gulu to have the next one, as Mbarara is also supposed to have the next one. The challenges, the issue is financing, which we are discussing along. 3, affordability and financing. Very many people may not be able to afford the cardiac services. The truth is that it is an expensive service. There is nothing to say about that one. 2, if you went abroad, you spend $20,000 at the least. If you have heart surgery at the Heart Institute, it is $5,000, already cutting it by 4 times. Next is now we are bringing on our collaborating teams, plus the corporate social world, to be able to start sponsoring children. So, like the media can sponsor 2 babies, like the parliament can, other groups like Wansung have been doing that, MTN is doing that, to try and dampen that cost. But there is a waiver mechanism. Having said that, I will have answered even the question from NBSC, that is accessibility. The 8,000, we are now at a capacity of handling 1,200. But when we get these facilities increasing, we should be moving towards the 8,000. And when the regional hospitals come up, they should be able to bridge up this plus the private sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yes.
I'm seeing Dr. Kamara with a balloon. I'm seeing Salvador. I saw a white one. So they have a 1-minute activity they are doing briefly, and then we have Dr. Rubega to give us a Uganda bite.
Yes. Now the ceremony is simple. That in honor of the World Heart Day, we commit to make our lives healthier. They got stuff, but they will reach. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mangino. This moment I welcome Dr. Rubega to summarize Dr. Mangino's statement, Dr. Kamara, and then the chairman. Then later we shall have a minister to give us a brief of Ruganda Rutoro, and then we end. Yes? Obuzibu obudde muganda wange. No. Anyway, kale katugende ne request yamwe. Katufune Dr. Mangino. Dr. Mbadde nsaba mu dakiika 2. Mudakika mbili.
Now banange bannayuganda banange olunaku lwa leero tuli kukuza olunaku lw'omutima mu nsi yonna. Omutima oba obulwadde bw'omutima kintu kikulu kati abantu nga obukadde 5 balina obulwadde bw'omutima mu nsi yonna era abafa batuuse kati ku bilioni 2 buli mwaka. Abaana bazaalibwa mu Uganda nga 1,600 nga balina obulwadde bw'omutima bonna balina okulongoosebwa nga 8. Ebintu ebireeta obulwadde bw'omutima waliwo abazaalibwa nabyo oba nabwo n'abasinga obulungi tubufuna okusinziirira oba okuva ku ngeri gitweyisaamu mu bulamu, ebintu bye tulya n'okutakola exercise ekimala. Kati ng'eggwanga tusazeewo oba eggwanga liri kukola okubiriza buli muntu okugezaako nnyo nga bw'asobola okuba nga alya emmere eyo emala, ate emmere eya bulijjo gye tujja mu nnimiro n'ebibala zite enva endiirwa n'amazzi ge tunywa. Twewale omwenge, sigareeti n'ebiragalalagala. Gavumenti yawa a Heart Institute obuvunaanyizibwa bw'okuwunya obujjanjabi bw'ennankanya bw'omutima eggwanga lyaffe lyonna. Kati tulina okuzimba nankanya eddwaliro ekkulu, tulugenda kulizimba wano mu Kampala lya ebitanda 205. Gavumenti emaze okutuwa ettaka n'esente gavumenti emaze okuzifuna. Tulina okuzimba amalwaliro amalala 13 okuva Kabaale okutuuka Arua. Kati messages eziriwo, tulina okulya obulungi, tulina okukeberebwa bulijjo, tulina okuba nga tukola drill exercises, tulina okwewala ebiragalalagala n'omwenge, sigareeti, omwenge, ebiragalalagala tulina okubyewala. Kati challenges ze boogeddeko lwale omulamwa nti tukozesa omutima gwo okweyunga n'abanno.
Tweyanza nnyo, tweyanzeege. Katufune Honorable Minister atuwe Rugatoro.
Ndowooza dokita ebintu ebisinga yabigambyeko. Abantu abalwala obulwadde buno bw'omutima milioni 5 mu nsi yonna, ate kati na Uganda batandise okweyongera. Kati nkubiriza abantu abannayuganda okwewala endwala zino ez'omutima, balina okulya bulungi, okukola exercise ng'okutambula brisk walk, totambula nga just otambula speed, omutima gukube mangu mangu oba odduke if you can. Ate babeere na omubiri omutonotonoko, si omubiri omunene nnyo. Ogwo guleeta amasava ku mutima n'otandika okulwala. Naye gavumenti eno nga bwe mbagambye bataddeko obuwumbe bwa $750 okuzimba eddwaliro eridungi nnyo erijjanjaba endwala z'emitima. Abantu balekeraawo kugenda wabweru babeere nga bajjanjabirwa wano, n'abantu ab'omu nsi endala eza Africa bajje wano Uganda, kubanga kati ensi yonna emanyi mbuno Uganda kati ffe abayina ebyuma ebijjanjaba omutima ne tukola n'okulongoosa kw'omutima wano awaka. Kati abantu bonna abali mu region eno bajja wano, n'abalala kuva mu Africa. Tusuubira n'abalala bajja kutandika okuva Europe na Asia nga bajja wano ku bajjanjaba emitima.
Tweyanza Honorable Minister. Oluganda lwero era bukedde ajja kukyaza. Okay. So we've come to the end of our press conference. So up next we are having a cabinet press briefing by Honorable Baliomusi and then Betty Amongi from Ministry of Gender. We also have the Minister for Elderly. So just hang around, move and have a bottle of water, soda, and then I would like to release the Honorable Minister. Yes, before they go photo moment, nenge negaddewo press conference tugimaze tugenda ku ndala ebya Salvador n'omwenge mugenda mufuna wano.